Hi everyone, this is Kristen, and today I'm here with a long-awaited SolidSuit case by RhinoShield for iPhone 7 Plus. This case is drop protective to over 11 feet while being very thin and lightweight. It comes in 3 different finishes. We have a carbon fiber finish, there is a marble finish, which I'm holding, and a brushed steel finish. Let's look a little more closely at all 3 of these cases on my matte black iPhone 7 Plus. The SolidSuit case for iPhone 7 Plus is available in 3 distinctly different finishes. We have a carbon fiber finish, we have a brushed steel finish, and we have a marble finish. Note the use of the word finish in the names of the products. There is no real marble, no real steel, and no real carbon fiber in these cases. We just have high quality faux finishes. And actually, these actually work out a whole lot better than if you had the real materials included. Marble and steel are heavy, and carbon fiber is death on signal, so it's probably a really good thing. We're just dealing with finishes here. Looking first at the carbon fiber finish case, this is a very attractive case. Really do like the look of the exterior. It has a nice textured look, although actually it feels quite smooth. This does have a bit more grip than previous iterations of this case, which is good. Looking on the interior, we have the honeycomb pattern that RhinoShield is known for. This is part of their protective strategy and their shock spread protection. And in addition, of course, this is made of some sort of super secret magic polymer that is also part of the 11 feet of drop protection that you have with such a thin and lightweight case. Overall, the feel of this case is relatively rigid, and as I said, it's really quite lightweight. The sides of it have more give than the back, but still not a whole lot. This is a pretty sturdy, rigid feeling case. Moving on to the marble finish version. So this has an issue that the carbon fiber version does not have, and that is that due to the smooth back and glossy material that we have here with the marble, this is kind of a fingerprint magnet, so do be aware of that. This picks up fingerprints where the other 2 finishes really don't, so there is that. However, this faux marble on the back looks really attractive. Really do like the look of it. Going around to the interior, the faux marble and also the brushed steel finish do have a lining on the interior, whereas there is no lining on the interior of the carbon fiber finish. Not really sure why we have that difference there. Both are nice, actually, in my opinion. This is a soft microfiber type material, feels really nice. Although if you look around the edges, you can still see this honeycomb pattern. I suspect that it's lurking underneath this microfiber material that we have here on the interior. We have a bit of RhinoShield branding here on the inside, and we do have some more RhinoShield branding over here on the side. Looking at the brushed steel finish, this will show more fingerprints on the exterior panels here than you will see with the carbon fiber, but not nearly so many as with the marble for whatever reason. Has a very nice look to it, very nice smooth feel on the back. And then looking at the interior, again, we have the same microfiber lining, and you have the honeycomb pattern material around the edges. All 3 of these cases have the same level of drop protection of 11 feet. In order to install the SolidSuit case on your phone, start with your volume side first and carefully slide this in as far as it will go, and then push the other corners gently down on it. This is a very tight fitting case. It's rather tight to get on, and it's really hard to get off. But once it's on, it's great. Looking at the fit of the SolidSuit case on my iPhone 7 Plus, you can see we do have a good amount of lip on here, even with a tempered glass screen protector installed. This is OtterBox's Alpha Glass, for those of you that are curious. Of course, if I didn't have a tempered glass screen protector, I would have even more lip. Overall, there is a good amount of protection afforded by the lip with this case. Looking at our port openings, there's no issue with third-party lightning cables with this case. Everything should work well, and we have very nicely protected speaker and microphone area. Going around to the sides, this carbon fiber finish material goes a little more than halfway up the sides, and then we have this smoother rubbery material at the top. It's not a very grippy rubber. It does give it a little bit of grip, and the carbon fiber finish has a teeny tiny bit of grip, but not much. This is not an excessively slippery case, but I would not call it a grippy case either. It's not bad in the hand. It's okay, but it has a little less grip than I feel comfortable with. In terms of our buttons, they are nice and clicky with good action. No issues whatsoever in getting to the mute switch. And going over here to the power button, it is nice and responsive with a nice amount of click. There is, by the way, absolutely no branding on the carbon fiber version of this case. There's branding on the other two versions, but not the carbon fiber. Nothing on the sides, nothing on the back, not a single logo anywhere. So for those of you that are really branding adverse, that's definitely going to be a selling point, I would think. Looking at the look of it on the back, everything looks really attractive. It's a very nice looking case. There is just a teeny tiny bit of a texture underneath your fingers with this material on the back. It's quite fingerprint resistant, and it seems to be at least decently scratch resistant as well. Really quite a nice material for the back of the case, although not really very grippy at all. In terms of the coverage for the protruding camera, it is covered just barely enough. So as long as you put this down on a flat surface, you'll have plenty of protection for your camera. Overall, just a very nice case, and as you can see, it's extremely slimline. So how slim is it? Well, if you compare it to something like the Apple silicone case, looking at it, it's a little bit taller than the silicone case and maybe just a smidge wider, but in terms of thickness, it's basically about the same, if not possibly just a little bit thinner. Of course, this case is going to give you a whole lot more protection than the Apple silicone case, so perhaps a fairer comparison is going to be against the Spec Presidio case. These guys are really close in size. This is a little bit smaller than the Presidio case, and it does give you a bit more protection as well. The Presidio case is rated for a 10-foot drop, and this is an 11.5-foot drop, so you definitely do have an improvement there. So looking at them, the Presidio case is again just a little bit taller and it's a little bit thicker. As far as our width, though, I would say that they are really pretty much exactly the same width-wise. So they're pretty similar in terms of size, but I would again say that your SolidSuit does win out in thinness. So as you can see, the SolidSuit has a lot going for it. Very nice slim profile, great feel in the hand, although a little slipperier than I would like ideally, and just overall a really nice case. A lot to love about it. However, one of the things that I don't love about it is how hard it is to get off. This is one of the harder cases to get off that I have encountered. In order to remove this case, the way that they want you to do it is to put your thumbs on the back of the case and start pushing out the bottom corner. It is quite stiff, but it will come out, and then you can push the other corners out as well. They actually tell you to do the two bottom corners, but I have not been able to make that work. They are just too tight. So I can do one bottom corner and one top corner, and then once you are in this situation, then you can just pull the whole thing out. Moving on to the marble finished version, just a really pretty case on the exterior. I really do like this soft microfiber lining that the brushed steel and the marble finish have. Putting your phone in, again, this is a tight fit. Really want to definitely press this down all the way against the volume side before pressing in your other corners, again, gently. You always want to be careful and slow with this. And it will go on. So once installed on my phone, you can see that the SolidSuit in its marble finish has the same fit as the carbon fiber finish SolidSuit on the phone. Everything is the same in terms of your port openings, your construction overall. The differences here are in the fact that the sides on the marble finish case have the same material all the way up and down, as opposed to the carbon fiber, where you have the carbon fiber material going halfway up the case and then this rubbery material being only at the top. Here you have the same material all up and down the sides. So in terms of other things on the exterior, we do have branding that goes here on the sides. There's no branding on the carbon fiber version, as I mentioned, but the two versions with inset material, this one and these brushed steel, do have the RhinoShield branding on the sides. Looking at the back of the marble finish case, your eye is immediately drawn to the panels of faux marble that are inset in here. Everything looks really good with this, and it's nice that you get the look of marble without having to contend with the weight. However, the one issue that I do have with these panels of faux marble is that they really attract fingerprints and smears. This is not all that surprising, given that it is a glossy material, and glossy materials like this typically do attract fingerprints, and this definitely does, so do be aware of that. As far as the materials on the rest of it, this is a smooth, hard feeling kind of a plastic material. It's not a really rubbery feeling material, and it doesn't give you a whole lot of grip. It extends on the back and down the sides. We probably have less grip with this version and the brushed steel version as compared with the carbon fiber finish versions. This material also does tend to show smears and smudges more than something like your carbon fiber version as well. It's not terribly smeary and smudgy, but it is definitely more so than some finishes. For example, it is not as hard and smooth as the material on RhinoShield's Playproof case, one of their other case lines. That's a real hard plastic which really doesn't show anything on it at all. This being a softer finish plastic does tend to show smears or smudges, so you just have to be a little more careful to keep this looking clean and beautiful. But it does look absolutely lovely on the phone, very attractive, and gotta love all the drop protection that it gives. The third version of the SolidSuit case is our brushed steel version. This is a really attractive one, I think. It's got a very nice, rather executive look to it. Just like with the marble finish case, the fit of this case is identical to that of the carbon fiber finish, so there's no reason to look at buttons and port openings and all that, because everything is exactly the same. The only differences you're going to see are on the back of the case, where we have these brushed steel finish inserts. Again, these are not real steel, they're not metal as far as I can tell. They feel like some sort of nice polymer. They actually have quite a nice look to them, and unlike the marble, they are not really fingerprint magnets. They will show smudges a little bit, but really not too bad. They're not quite as good in terms of avoiding fingerprints and scratching as the carbon fiber is, but really not bad at all, and they have a really nice look to them. The surrounding material is exactly the same as the one we just discussed on the marble finish case, and just overall really nice, very executive looking case, really attractive. Finally, for those of you that are curious in terms of how this compares with the Playproof case, this is RhinoShield's other product. Playproof is also a really, really nice case. If you look at it in terms of size, I would say that the SolidSuit is very slightly wider than the RhinoShield Playproof, but they, other than that, are pretty much the same size. The RhinoShield might be a tad taller. Thickness-wise, though, that these are basically the same, and other than that, in terms of like buttons and everything, you are looking at basically the same case. Playproof is kind of fun because you have the custom version of the Playproof where you can order lots of custom designs on it and really express yourself a little bit more, but it does definitely have a more whimsical look to it, whereas I would say the SolidSuit, you're looking at a more executive looking case. Of course, you can always go with the plain version of the Playproof as well. We do have the plain version, which comes in a number of solid colors, including black, so you can go super plain there, but again, it still just has the look of a plastic case, whereas the SolidSuit definitely has a bit more of an upscale appearance. Again, we've been looking at the RhinoShield SolidSuit cases for iPhone 7 Plus. These cases retail for $34.99 and come in 3 different models. We have the brushed steel finish and the marble finish. These come in both black and white framed options. And then we have the carbon fiber finish, which only comes in the black carbon fiber look. Many thanks to the kind folks at RhinoShield for sending me out these samples to review. I will put links below where you can find out more about these products. And if you have any questions about them, please feel free to put them in the comments below and I will do my best to address them. If you are interested in subscribing to my channel, please consider it. I do try to put out 2 to 3 videos a week on accessories for iPhone 7 Plus, iPad Pro, and Samsung Galaxy S8, and I would love to have your support. Again, this is Kristen with the RhinoShield SolidSuit cases for iPhone 7 Plus. Have a fantastic day.